So, as you know, we started a couple weeks ago. We're going to go through all the Game of the Year history, starting from the beginning when Xbox launched. For us, was 2002. We're going through all the years of when all games we liked and what we played. So this year is 2005. This podcast is 2005. Jamie went for Fahrenheit. Brilliant game. It's from the same makers that did Heavy Rain and the other one, which I can't think of, Beyond Two Souls. So both fantastic games. That's a fantastic game. It's a good choice, Jamie. And we'll start with Daniel. What did you pick, Daniel, son?
I've done a U and picked two, which I
yeah, go for it. You can always do
that. So I went with the first. Well, I say the first COD. So COD 2, Call of Duty 2. I just remember playing it over and over again with a mate. First, I guess, gaming experience online for me. So it was great fun playing the multiplayer maps, trying to kill either my mate or being on the same team. Enjoyed that. But I guess pipping it would be Condemned Criminal Origins, which scared the absolute bejesus out of me. Having all the jump scares as these criminally insane people are out, jumping out, trying to get you. And there you are with your melee weapon of choice.
Bashing their heads in, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was great fun. Really enjoyed it. So those are, I might sway more to Condemned just because it scared the absolute shit out of me.
Condemned was fucking terrifying.
Oh, it was.
It's fucking game.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, it was. Like I said, the jump scare. I mean, they were jump scare. Well, mind you, it was the product of the time, but it was all jump scare.
It was just jump scare. It wasn't psychological. It was just
yeah. Someone there, someone chasing you. But yeah,
Amazing.
Loved it.
There was no chill to that game.
No, no.
Yeah, there was when you turned it off.
Yeah.
And did you pick up a 360 when it was released in December that year, or did you have to wait a bit?
I picked one up. What did I do? I went into my local game store and I think I asked, this is really bad, asked about the PlayStation 3 when it was coming out. They said, oh, there isn't any coming out. There's this over here. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll pick that up. And then picked up like 3 or 4 games and off I went.
There you go.
That was it. And that's how my Xbox love affair started.
Amazing. And next up, Rossy Poo, what did you go for?
I am going for the original, the one that started it all off with my love affair. And it was Forza Motorsport.
Ah, good choice. Good choice.
Oh, well, it is what it is. Best, I would say, simulation racer that's on the market, even current day. Obviously, I was talking, I think it was last week or the week before, I was saying about Project Gotham, how great that was. And then Forza just sort of took it up another notch. Obviously, Forza's a lot more simulation based than PGR, but just having the beauty that it had in it for a racing game, having been used to my Sega Rally or fucking the old school Gran Turismo games, and then you get something like this and you're like, wow, this is just unbelievable.
I say the kind of peak then was always Project Gotham Racing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was a good looking game, to be fair.
Yeah.
But then when you actually see Forza Motorsport, you're like, oh.
Yeah, they kind of hit the ground one like, oh, hello. I think honestly, Forza killed Project Gotham Racing.
Absolutely. Like, totally destroyed it.
Yeah, it was kind of the peak thing. I remember Project Gotham Racing kind of making huge traction. Then this Forza came along, like, what's this Forza? I was like, oh my god, this is racing.
This is what it should be.
Yeah, and there were so many different cars as well. I remember there was like, I remember when I was playing, I was like, oh my god, there's so many cars, there's loads. But I think in choice about 50 probably.
Yeah, like if you would look at it now, you'd go, oh,
that's that many cars, really?
Yeah. Is that like just your entry level or the tutorial if you're done?
Yeah. Oh, poor Dan. And Graham, what about you?
Me, sticking to the same vibe. You think I'm a bit of a fanboy going from my one. I picked Jade Empire.
Never played it, so you'll probably have to explain a bit more about it.
It's just another of the BioWare releases. So in the same vein as Knights of the Old Republic, this one's kind of set in China, I believe, and it's more martial art based rather than sort of weapon based as such. I think there are weapons in it. It's been a while since I played that one, but it's the same sort of exactly the same style, squad based combat, same as what Mass Effect is now, but just imagine that with a bit more martial art kind of combats instead. And yeah, it was once again that BioWare are just amazing storytellers in the same way as like what Square Enix used to be with Final Fantasy. BioWare used to just keep doing it, kept firing them out, and they were just classic after classic. They were on a roll, and this was the next one in the list, and it was another amazing game, decent RPG, and if you liked that Knights of the Old Republic or Mass Effect, and it's just like a martial art version of it, then it's definitely one to play if you like your RPGs.
Perfect. And going on to my own choices, I am going for 2 picks, like always, because I like to be greedy. But I'm going to also cheat as well, like a dirty cheat, because I believe when I was looking into them, both my games came out on different consoles or PC a year before, but came out to Xbox Original in 2005, so it's allowed.
I love it.
And I'm going for Half-Life 2 and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. 2 fantastic games. I'll probably lean more onto Half-Life because I do remember San Andreas having a shitty mission with the fucking remote control helicopter plane.
All of them had that. Even Vice City had that as well. They all had. One was a what was it? One was.
But I think San Andreas was the worst one. I remember doing the other 2 fine.
But one of them not have a boat. Like it was a wee electric boat. You have to do as well. There was one that had the boat as well. So there was a boat. There was the helicopter. And I'm sure it was an RC car as well. Or a plane.
A plane you had to do.
Plane was San Andreas.
The plane one was the same plane was San Andreas was the one that.
Yeah, the helicopter was Vice City.
Was it? Yeah. Yes, I think it was. Yeah, and there was another little plane one in GTA 3, but then you couldn't really fly the planes. You could only like hover and glide, and then you'd crash always really quickly.
I think we were going to see the train mission.
Oh, again, I forgot about that, but that's also another. That's what I mean. GTA Fast Andreas was such a good, but they had 4 or 5 shit missions. Which is like, why the fuck you put this in this game for? Like, bad mistake, especially when you're hungry. You think this is shit. Why am I doing? But you still managed to do it.
Although I was watching a clip for somebody that was playing it on the remaster and things like that, and it was like the first time they'd ever played it. And all they did was when you get on the bike, they just drove away from the train, drove the bike up a ramp onto a building that ran past the train, and just stood on the building and shot them as they came near. Like mission was 30 seconds long, done, and we were all sitting there like,
what? How do you do that? Yeah. Well, and there was no one knew strats.
Yeah, nobody knew.
Then.
Exactly, we were just following the train like, fucking hell, Smoke, just fucking shoot him. I'm doing my fucking best. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, Half-Life 2, I always love all the Half-Life franchises. I've loved every single one of their games, and I'm so sad there's Half-Life 3 not coming out yet. But who knows, maybe next week they might show Half-Life 3.
Yeah, it hasn't been out for a long time, but it's never coming out.
Don't break my heart.